Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again with the follow-up video for the Doriani's prototype Absolution Creparian Summoner build that's taken to slightly more extremes. Um, so by this point, the character he had then basically taken on all Endgame at least once, except for the Feared, and I was just ramping up to the Feared to get them going because I didn't have much currency to actually do the content required. So just had to do a little bit of extra stuff and trying to hit level 92, 93, something like that. It was pretty cruisy mapping, unless you're doing some real extreme scourging. And then, of course, you will sometimes be dying. But Dorani's prototype itself wasn't really getting in the way too often. Definitely isn't, an ideal defensive setup still, with only a talisman and then armor doing the rest. But armor could get to a level where it was helping enough that for sure it would take some of the bigger hits out there, and then your minions take plenty of the other hits. But one thing I will say about summoner builds and stuff like this, it is an absolute clusterfuck. It becomes very hard to dodge things, especially in large scale situations like a Scourge, because you never actually fucking see anything. You just don't. There's a lot of little intricate Scourge things that do need to be dodged, explosions on ground and charge ups from certain dudes, all kinds of shit like that, and it's really hard to see throughout any of this. On more scripted fights like a Maven or something, you can kind of understand what's happening because you already know the fight and are only looking for one particular mob. But in general, yeah, not a fan of the visibility on these summoner type builds. But character end up doing everything pretty well. Yep, who knows how much DPS it is. A lot is, I guess, the fucking take-home message. And it was very fun doing bosses, no doubt about it. Some still worse than others. For example, Cirrus here, that you can see, did kill him fairly well, but it's going to be one of the worst bosses by far for this type of a setup with a Dorani's prototype and then a talisman and then armor and stuff, because ground degens, you don't have any way to really mitigate that, since the way you mitigate the Dorani's prototype lightning res is on hit scaling through armor and also the talisman. So then degens are still trucking you pretty hard, and even then you can see that some of the hits actually hit me pretty hard too. So it is a bit dicey. And then the Cirrus here actually goes south pretty fast, and looking back on it, it's actually very unlucky. He created a tunnel over a degen zone, and that's like the only degen zone in the entire arena at the time. And then upon re-entry, he's bugged out and has already started that phase and has already started the next phase, and then I've got to deal with 2 quad beams. So it kind of caught me off guard, and wasn't going to happen. So I think I got pretty hard done by on that last Cirrus phase. But there is an element of ramping with the build before the boss fights. Some boss fights when you've got absolutely no minions to start with, you have to get a few attacks in and get your minions up. So I did spec into a bit of cast speed with a jewel, and also started running a onslaught flask with cast speed on it too, just for the initial phase of the fights. But as well as that, I did end up testing the worm flask out, and if you want, you can use a worm flask to help you set up some minions before a fight. It's just sometimes pretty hard to do, because sometimes your minions kill the worms before you even get a chance to attack. So you got to kind of pre-fire it pretty quickly, and then yes, it's entirely possible that you can get a couple of minions up before a fight starts. So it should be useful on some of these fights where you're worried about having any minions before anything happens. This Uber Zero kill, probably one of the fastest things I've ever seen. We were chunking our health from 100 to 0 almost instantly, multiple times, and that went pretty well. So all in all, I did build the character a bit squishier than it should have been, I think, given the amount of DPS we had. It took on the Feared pretty damn cleanly. I don't know, I think I got lucky with the spawns. A couple of the spawns, it's just, to start with, was Shaper and Elder, and that's fairly manageable, because that's just an Uber Elder fight. But otherwise, we just kill these things pretty damn quick. And then that prompted me to try out the Feared all at once, and I guess you could imagine how that goes. Not well. in any case, I'm going to leave you guys with that. It will be an absolute ass pounding. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. I want to kill Ziri first. Or Chiyula first. Chiyula first. I want to kill Chiyula first. I'm going. That's fine. We got Chiyula out of the way. That's a start. It is gonna be tough to get back in. Especially with minions baiting attacks, right? It is gonna be really tough to get back in. What were the minions doing? I had 3 minions up, didn't I? Were they killing anything? Did someone die? Someone had to have died. The minions are dying. They're actually dying as well. Yeah, we'll try and resummon zombies this time. I think we did kill some shit though.